I had a guy with a 3.5 EcoBoost F-150 from Florida, towing a 6,000-pound boat. Every summer, same routine. Drive down to the lake, back up the trailer, haul it home. He'd been running 87 for 3 years. Truck felt fine, he said. Nothing wrong. I asked him one question. What does it feel like on the highway with the trailer, climbing a grade in August heat? He paused. He said it kept dropping gears on bridges and grades, like it suddenly forgot where the power was. That's not a broken truck. That's a truck running exactly as the ECU was programmed to protect it on the cheapest fuel it was given. A few months later, a different customer. Same engine, same use case. Boat, Florida summers, similar mileage. He'd switched to 93. Came in for an oil change and told me the truck felt like he'd had something repaired, pulled better, shifted less on the trailer, more confident under boost. I didn't touch the engine, the fuel did that. I'm RJ, 20 years on Fords. Today we go through 87, 91, and 93 in the same 3.5 EcoBoost F-150, what each one actually does, what you feel behind the wheel, and which one makes sense for your truck. The answer is not the same for everyone. Let's get into it. Here's where Ford accidentally created one of the biggest arguments in the F-150 world. Pull up the owner's manual on any 3.5 EcoBoost and the fuel recommendation has 2 lines. Line 1, 87 octane minimum. Line 2, premium fuel recommended for best performance. Most owners see the first line and stop. 87 minimum. Done. They completely ignore the second one. That second line is not marketing. Ford's engineers calibrated the 3.5 EcoBoost around premium fuel, 91 and above. The minimum rating means the engine will run on 87 without immediately damaging itself. It does not mean 87 is where the engine is designed to operate. The EcoBoost is smart enough to adapt to whatever fuel you give it. On lower octane, it quietly adjusts ignition timing and boost management to protect the engine from knock. That adaptation is a protection system, not a performance system. The question isn't whether your F-150 will run on 87, it will. The question is what the truck gives up when it's protecting itself, and whether that matters for how you use it. 87 is the floor. Premium is where the EcoBoost was designed to live. Octane is resistance to pre-ignition. Higher number means the fuel holds up better under pressure before it burns. In a turbocharged engine, this matters more than in a simple V8 because boost pressure raises cylinder temperatures and pressures significantly. More pressure means more tendency to ignite before you want it to. The 3.5 EcoBoost constantly listens for knock through dedicated sensors. When conditions suggest the fuel might not hold up, it pulls timing. That means the combustion event happens slightly later than the engine wants. The engine stays safe, but it's not running at full potential. Think of it like a sprinter running with a weighted vest. Still moving, still working, just not as fast as it was built to go. On 87 at a light throttle, easy highway, mild temperature, the vest barely registers. You probably can't feel it. Under load, in heat, that vest gets heavier. The engine is continuously trading some performance for protection. Not dramatically, just consistently. The engine protects itself. That protection has a cost. You pay it in throttle response, shift behavior, and reserve under load. I expected 87 to get crushed in this comparison. It didn't. On an empty F-150, moderate weather, normal driving, 87 performs much closer to 91 than most people think. The engine isn't under enough load or heat to trigger meaningful protection response. The fuel economy difference in these conditions is small. The power difference is largely invisible. If this is most of your driving, commuting, light hauling, easy highway, 87 is doing the job and the savings are real. That's the part the premium fuel crowd skips. For a large portion of actual F-150 use, 87 is a defensible choice, but here's where it changes. The engine wasn't weak, it was holding itself back. Under sustained load, in heat, towing a trailer uphill in August, hauling a heavy bed through the mountains, the protection response becomes something you feel. The truck hunts for gears because the torque delivery is shifting slightly as timing adjusts. You're in 5th and it wants 6th, then it wants 5th again. Then it downshifts to 4th on a grade and sits there working harder than it should. The exhaust runs hotter. The turbos spin harder, compensating. None of this is destroying the engine, but the truck is working harder than it needs to, and you can feel that exactly. The Florida owner wasn't imagining the hunting. He was feeling the engine managing a gap between what the fuel could do and what the engine was asking for. 87 works. Under light conditions, it works well. Under sustained load and heat, you start feeling the management instead of the performance. I put together a Ford Longevity Handbook for F-150 owners. Fuel grade recommendations by engine and use case, oil intervals, transmission survival rules, all the stuff Ford barely explains. It's called the Ford Longevity Blueprint, links in the description. I had a customer who switched from 87 to 91 because his area didn't carry 93. He wasn't expecting much, thought he was just paying more for the same thing. He called me 2 tanks later, said the truck felt more awake. Pressed the pedal and it responded immediately instead of building up. On his morning commute with a half-loaded bed, it stopped hunting for gears on the highway on-ramp. That's 91 doing what the engine wanted. The protection response essentially disappears under most driving conditions. The engine runs the timing it was designed to run. You press the pedal and the truck responds, not after a slight hesitation while the system figures out what it has to work with, but immediately. Under moderate towing load, the transmission behavior changes noticeably. Less cycling between gears on grades because the torque delivery is consistent. The transmission isn't chasing a target that keeps adjusting. More stable pull, more confident mid-range response. For most F-150 owners who tow occasionally, live in a warm state, drive at altitude, or simply want the truck to feel like the spec sheet says it should, 91 is the practical answer. The cost over 87 is real, but modest. What you get back is the truck running as designed. 91 is where the EcoBoost stops adapting and starts performing. Most owners who switch notice it immediately. 93 is not for everyone. For a lot of F-150 owners, 91 is the right answer and 93 is paying for margin they'll never use. But there's a specific profile where 93 earns every cent, and more owners fit that profile than realize it. Heavy towing in summer heat, a contractor pulling a loaded trailer in Arizona, a ranch truck hauling equipment on grades, an F-150 that spends summers doing real work in hot climates. These are conditions where the engine is at the upper edge of its operating range. At that edge, 91 and 93 are different trucks. On 93 under these conditions, the knock sensors are quiet. The engine runs its most aggressive timing. The turbos reach target boost pressure most efficiently. The result is not a dramatic power surge you feel on a commute, it's reserve. The engine has margin left when conditions are hardest. What you actually feel is in the transmission. Less gear hunting on sustained grades. Mid-range pull, where an EcoBoost under boost does most of its towing work, is more consistent and more confident. The second Florida owner wasn't imagining the difference. Under 6,000 pounds of trailer in August heat, 93 was running timing that 87 couldn't sustain without the engine stepping in to protect itself. Same hardware, completely different operating conditions. The cost math. About 15 to 20 cents more per gallon over 87. For 15,000 miles annually, roughly $90 to $120 extra per year. Under heavy towing use, the efficiency gain recovers a meaningful portion of that. Under light use, it doesn't. That's why this is a use case answer, not a universal one. 93 earns the price specifically under sustained load in heat. If that's how you use the truck, it's not a premium, it's the right fuel. There's no single winner for every F-150 owner. There's a winner for each profile. 87, your truck is mostly empty, weather is mild, you're not towing regularly. The savings are real and the performance you're leaving behind is mostly invisible in those conditions. Defensible choice. 91, you tow occasionally, live somewhere warm, drive at altitude, or just want the truck to feel like the spec sheet says it should. This is where the EcoBoost stops compensating and starts performing. Most owners who make the switch notice it immediately. 93, you tow heavy, work in heat, run demanding terrain regularly. The reserve it provides under these conditions is real, and you'll feel it every time you hook up a trailer in August. 87 won't destroy your EcoBoost, but it will ask the engine to spend its time protecting itself instead of running at its best. Your truck only knows one thing: whether you gave it enough fuel for the job. Ford Longevity Blueprint is in the description. If this helped, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.